So basically, that's it, right? So that's what happens when you start talking up the Cowboys. Now I get it, right? Injuries, they had some injuries, but if you're supposedly this great team, this contending team, you got to put away again a team that organizationally is trying to lose, and I get it. Like, I'm a 49er fan. We have the Cardinals coming up, okay? I know it's probably going to be a frustrating one, right? Because the consistent pattern with the Cardinals is that they've played everybody tight, they've played well, they've had the lead, they've never been able, but they hadn't been able to keep it. Well, they kept this one. The Cowboys, again, like they were saying, they moved the ball well, and they took advantage of poor Cardinal tackling, but they bogged down in the red zone. Had to kick a bunch of field goals, and that's how you keep a lesser opponent around in the game. And then this throw here that Dak Prescott makes in the clutch is just terrible. The guy sinks underneath the throw. You should have seen it. Bad throw, right? So there's some holes starting to show up in the Cowboys, right? The Cardinals, I get it. They're going to be a losing team this year, but seems like they're going to be a bit more competitive than I thought. Albeit, like I say, they're trying to lose. So you keep that in mind. The Cowboys, some holes are starting to show up. Their red zone offense isn't very good. The defense, again, I guess like I mentioned it earlier about depth. Depth is great when you're healthy, but when you have to play that depth and you have some injuries, that's when it starts to show up, right? So now Stephon Gilmore has to be the number one because Trayvon Diggs is out. Well, that means somebody who was playing in a reserve role, but in the slot in limited numbers, in limited snaps. Now they have to play more, and it opens up some things in the secondary. So now you can get some quicker throws off against the Cowboys, which eliminates some of the pass rush. So it starts to trickle down, and the more injuries you throw on top of that, the more things start to break down. So for the Cowboys, right, so it's red zone offense has to be better. Right, that's Mike McCarthy, the head coach. Right, has to be better. Dak has to take better care of the ball. You can't throw this interception here on this play. You can't do it. And they've injuries are injuries. It's going to happen. You have to adjust, but it is going to stress the defense because not losing Trayvon Diggs stretches out the secondary some, and the Cowboys are going to have to adjust to that. So that basically, and like I say, I'm a 49er fan, so the Cowboys losing is fine by me. We have a huge game with them coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'm not going to trash talk too much because we'll see what happens with that game. But it's a tough one, right? Just when the Cowboys started the chatter, right? They throw this clunker against the Cardinals, who have historically given them a lot of trouble for some reason. Good, bad, or indifferent. The Cardinals just beat them, so a little bit of work to do now. All of a sudden in Dallas, but I think, like I said, they're still going to be right there. Although the holes are starting to show.